Have you considered the possibility that you need religion far more than you probably realize? But does your own understanding of religion get in the way? Hi, I'm Kirk, and I'm a scientist and a philosopher and a person who spends a lot of time thinking about the why questions in life. So if you're interested in discussions pertaining to God, science, and life, then please subscribe to my channel here, where I'll be posting on a regular basis. You can also subscribe to my social media accounts, and the links are below. I don't know what comes to your mind when someone says the word religion, but let's just set that aside for the moment and start with a clean screen. 2 days ago, I witnessed one of the most poignant and touching scenes I've ever experienced. We were standing in a cemetery far from any city, surrounded by an autumn forest, beautiful in its fall colors. There were only 7 of us, which created quietness and intimacy that I've never seen before at the burial of a loved one. The woman knelt beside the small hole, her long hair veiling her face as she quietly wept and lovingly laid the ashes of her husband of 32 years in the earth. The remaining 6 of us, including the pastor who had married them, had been at their wedding 3 decades earlier. Now it was the end. 2 lives entwined in love over the years, creating a powerful bond that was now torn apart. Life had gone by so swiftly. We were born, we loved, and it was over, but for what? It was right then and there that one aspect of religion made all the difference in the world to the 7 of us. This was not the end. There was a meaning to life that was far higher than anything we could have personally made up. There is eternity. Things that are related in some way to what we might call religion. Perhaps you may be wondering, is not belief in a higher purpose, in life after death and eternity, just something we have made up to satisfy our cravings? Well, have you ever considered the possibility that it might be the other way around? What if we have these cravings because there actually is a higher purpose for our individual lives and life after death and eternity? What if your deepest cravings have been built into you by God and are actually the call of God to you personally? Have you ever thought about what your deepest, most fundamental cravings might be? What I mean is, what are those desires that would make life so worthwhile, wonderful, and fulfilling if they were fulfilled? Your immediate, most obvious desires are usually a pointer to deeper, more fundamental desires. So what might those be? In countless conversations with people, it seems to me that there are several deepest cravings that are universal to all people. Can I suggest 4 of them? First, we crave significance. That is, to be known and remembered, not just for our lifetime, but we'd really like to be known forever. Second, we crave value. That is, that our worth is not merely what we might imagine for ourselves or what other people think of us, but based on something much greater. Third, we crave some real meaning for life rather than something we just make up, something that gives us purpose for existence. Finally, I think we crave something I might call cleanness or purity. What I mean by that is that all of us have done or said things that we regret, things that have hurt others and ourselves and that haunt us. We want to sleep at night with a clean conscience, free of the memories that we wish we could forget. So let us consider this. What if there is a God who knows and remembers us forever? What if God loves and values us as he values himself? An unquantifiable value that surpasses our comprehension. What if he has provided a way to make us pure and clean for all eternity in a world that has never known evil, that never will know evil, and where even the memory of evil does not exist? What if God stepped into human history as a human being to create a way for us to have our deepest cravings fulfilled? And what if that person's name was Jesus the Messiah, who had been prophesied for many centuries prior to his coming? At this point, we are back to the question of what we think of when someone says the word religion. We probably don't have to work too hard to think of things that are not at all attractive to us. A kind of religion that has been modified by human beings to resemble a mummified corpse. But what if there is such a thing as true living religion? So maybe it would be enlightening to consider this question: what is the difference between what humans do to true living religion and the true and living religion itself? As a sincere Christian, I have observed and experienced both, so here are my own thoughts on this. God gives a definition of true living religion in the book of James in the New Testament. It goes like this: religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. The two components mentioned here are beautifully parallel to the two great commands that God has given. Meeting the needs of the poor and underprivileged is the practical application of the second greatest command, to love your neighbor as yourself. To keep oneself unstained by the world can only be accomplished through loving the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind. If true religion requires a purity only God can give through Jesus Christ, as well as sincere compassion for our fellow human beings, it would seem that a part of living true religion involves coming together as a people who love God and other people. This is what many call attending church. I have a variety of friends in their early 20s, some of whom have left what we might call evangelical Protestantism for a more liturgical Christian denomination, while at the same time others have abandoned their mainstream liturgical denomination for evangelical Protestantism. Why is this? A few years ago I attended Evensong in Winchester Cathedral in the south of England. Sitting there within the gigantic ancient stone hall where Christians had worshipped for many centuries, I experienced a reverence and an awe for God and the feeling of the history of Christianity that is so badly missing from the modern warehouse-like churches with a contemporary band on the front stage that is so common in evangelical Protestant Christianity. My wife and I love to attend services in these ancient cathedrals for the feeling of majesty and the greatness of God that seems so near in these centuries-old grand places of worship. I've also greatly appreciated the beauty and reverent thought that has gone into many of those liturgical prayers. They often seem to express the heart and soul of a true and living religion that spans thousands of years. On the other hand, I recall another service in a huge old stone church where the actual sermon was so dull and empty that it was an excruciating act of endurance just to survive until thankfully it ended and I was able to escape out the back door. It was missing what is so central in contemporary evangelical churches, that is, a contemporary relevance of Christianity in the 21st century. So what I'm suggesting is that true and living religion is not only relevant, but greatly needed in the 21st century if we wish to find the ultimate fulfillment of the deepest cravings within us that are really the call of God, as it were. As for our public mutual gathering together to celebrate this true and living religion we can have through faith in Jesus Christ, I suggest we also have a need to bring together the sense of awe and reverence for God, the ancientness of true Christianity, the worshipful thoughtfulness of some of the great liturgical prayers, as well as the greatly needed contemporary relevance of Christianity in the 21st century that is so much a key part of the evangelical branch of modern Christianity. In my own thoughts and experience, it seems that we have been designed to actually need a true and living religion. That is, to have genuine compassion and love for our fellow human being, and to live a life that steadily becomes more pure and unstained by the world through a living faith in Jesus Christ. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, or at least found it thought-provoking. And if you did, please share it, or you can leave a comment in the section below. And also, don't forget to hit the like button.